POP6 Newscast. I'm your news anchor, Deborah Fleur. Today our topic consists of the important subject of the American Revolution. We'll keep you up to date on the new rebel workings of the American colonists. In 1754, the French and Indian War had occurred in North America, lasting 7 years. The war had cost a lot of money for the government, the colonies, and the colonists, which angered the colonists. The war had finally ended with the Treaty of Paris in 1763, signed by the French, ceding its hold on North America. Then, in 1765, the Stamp Act had required colonists to pay a tax in the form of a stamp on printed documents and other goods. Colonists had rebelled and terrorized British tax collectors. Also, the Townshend Acts imposed a series of taxes on all goods imported into the U.S. These taxes were instituted for a couple of reasons. First was the ongoing need to raise revenue. However, more important than the revenue was the desire of the Parliament to show that they had the right to impose new taxes. What was that? What? Oh! I've been told that an act of defiance is currently taking place in the Boston Harbor in the middle of the Fort Point Channel. Our reporter Mafalda Hopkirk is on the scene and seeing everything.
Hello, Colonials. I'm Mafalda Hopkirk here at Boston Harbor it's about midnight here. I'm talking to George Hugh, part of the Colonials, who are currently attempting to throw all Boston tea in the harbor. So, George, what's happening right now?
Well, I mean, they passed the Tea Act of 1773, and come on, dude. Like, we need some representation for our taxes, so we're gonna, throw their tea in the harbor. I don't like this.
Of course. So, George, what is the act called that led to this?
It's the Tea Act of 1773.
All right, and what effect did this act have on merchants?
Well, merchants who acted as middlemen were buying tea from the British, right? However, the Tea Act allowed the East India Trading Company to undersell, and that, drove our merchants out of the business. So we're not making any profit right
now. Now, do you think that they will repeal this act?
If they don't, then something's happening. Because I can tell you right now, this is not going to work. So, I mean, it's up to them, but just know.
Alright, you heard it here first, Colonials. As you can see behind me, they are throwing tea in the harbor as we speak.
The Treaty of Paris ended the American Revolutionary War and had a significant effect on the history of America during the 18th century. The treaty was significant because it recognized the United States' independence and created the boundaries of the United States. The Boston Tea Party was the Americans' way of letting the British know that they objected to the idea of being taxed and didn't like the idea of having to overpay for British goods. The colonists' argument of no taxation without representation was a challenge to the power of enlightenment and basically came from the idea that they should have a say in the creation of policies that affected their welfare. The Tea Party was really the turning point of the revolution and sparked the beginning of everything. The Americans had defeated a large portion of one of the greatest military forces in the world for the first time in the American Revolution. And the surrender had also given the Americans, British, and even the French a new look towards the war. With the outcome of the battle, the French had finally felt comfortable with assisting the Americans against the British. With the French's help, the war had turned from the British side to the Americans. Ultimately, with the French's money and supply of soldiers and naval forces, it contributed to the Americans' victory in the Revolutionary War.
Hello, Colonials. I'm Mafalda Hopkirk of POP6 News, and I'm here with the latest news on the Second Battle of Saratoga. As we all know, the first battle didn't end very well, with a lot of lost colonial land. But I'm here with General Horatio Gates to get the scoop on the new battle. Alright, so what happened?
Well, General Burgoyne marched up against his 5,000 up against my 8,000 troops, and, that's not some hard math there.
Okay, so what do you think the main cause of the British surrender was?
Mostly they're being outnumbered. I mean, we had at least 3,000 on top of them, so.
That's awesome. What is the battlefield's layout?
Well, to the east over here we have a river, and then, they use that to escape, which is, big deal. And then, up to from the south, we sent up a few brigades of troops.
Unfortunately, General Gates had a cannonball pass very near to him, so he's still a little confused.
Yeah.
Alright, who was your second in command?
I had, a few different ones. I had you know, Poor, Ben Lincoln, Benedict Arnold, and David Morgan. Yeah, all good ones.
Do you believe this victory may prove a turning point for the Patriots?
It's definitely going to give us leverage in, putting them out of here. I think it'll break this war wide open for us.
All right. Thank you for this information, Mr. Gates.
Hello, Americans. Today, we are officially a free country as the Treaty of Paris was signed by several people today. I'm here with John Adams, one of the people who signed the Treaty of Paris, to discuss this. What American victory led to this?
The Battle of Yorktown, actually.
Okay, and would this have been manageable without French help?
No, I don't think it would have because, they provided a neutral place for us to sign this, first of all. And plus they sent us a whole bunch of help in the war. So,
And who conducted the negotiations?
we had representatives from American delegations, France, Europe, Spain, and even the Dutch Republic here.
And who signed the final treaty?
It was me, Ben Franklin, good friend of mine, John Jay, and David Hartley from British.
Of course. And what were the terms of the treaty?
Basically what it said is that we got freedom from Europe control, British control, and it tightened up the boundaries between us and France and British in the American colonies. And we got some fishing rights off the Canadian coast and some other governmental rights.
Of course. And did England benefit at all from this withdrawal?
Not really. I mean, they did lose a lot of money because they were getting a lot of money off of us in taxes. And they also lost a lot of land. But on the other hand, they didn't have to send a whole bunch of troops over here to keep us in check and all that. So I don't think they benefited that much.
Well, welcome to the new country, Americans.
Said us.
All right. I love pizzas, and what about you? Really?
We're putting that in the bloopers.
Why?
Because you were singing about pizza with your mouth filled with.
Pizza is worth singing about.
Doing what we would first.
Okay,
Oh! Hello, Colonials. I'm Mafalda Hopkirk of POOP6 News, and I'm here with General Horatio Gates of the Colonial Army. It's October 7th, 1777, and we're at the Second Battle of Saratoga. What? Oh.
really bad at this. No, I was like this, and I just had my notepad right here.